Oh, just shut your mouth, Sakaresh. You're a damned witch, and if this were the old times, you would have been crucified long time ago. Do you really think I don't know about the village?
I'm Calia Sakaresh, by my path novice and aspirant to the first sigil.
Sakaresh? There are some interesting rumors revolving around you.
Calia. What's she like? I've heard some stories about her.
What I do know, though, is that the first memory I have is of waking up in the middle of some village. I eventually found the strength to get up and look around, and, well, it had been destroyed. There were corpses everywhere. Men, women, children, and the houses had been crushed as if some mad god had rampaged through the streets there. I saw 3 riders coming through the smoke. Then I felt a blow on the back of my head, and I lost consciousness. And if Master Tyrus hadn't found and taken care of me, I probably wouldn't have made it through my 2nd year. He saw me, and he knew what he had to do, is how he put it. Well, here we've reached the end of my impressive tale.
Such determination. All right, then.
It's strange, isn't it? The way life sometimes goes.
Die!
As you wish. I hope you liked it.
Under the city, deep in the caves, he waits for us, the Black Guardian. No one who ever caught sight of him lived to tell about it. If the holy verses are spoken and you giggle and caper around, he'll soon wipe the smile right off your face, 'cause he ambushes you when you least expect. Down in the deep, down in the dark, he waits for us, the Black Guardian. If we stray from our path, if we lose our way, he drags us down to the endless void below. If you search in ruins and tombs for pathless writings and treasures, the earth opens up under your feet, and you'll find no gold but eternal grief. Down in the deep, down in the dark, he waits for us, the Black Guardian. If we stray from our path, if we lose our way,
Saira, good to see you. Do you need anything?
to the endless void below. If you are 3 sheets to the wind, and you stagger through the alleys of Ark, a manhole cover will open.
Well, as I told you, I was never very popular with the other novices. You know, the novitiate was very challenging. The magisters only rarely gave us days off to contemplate, as they called it. The others usually used it to go to the tavern to gamble and drink. I never really liked that kind of pastime, and I still don't.
He drags us down to the endless void below. Late in the night when the pale moon shines,
I've never really thought about things like that. You know, life in the temple is quite secluded, and I doubt there are many men or women who would find my way of living attractive. But forgive me, that's very personal. I don't really want to talk about it.
down in the dark, he waits for us, the Black Guardian. If we stray from our path, if we lose our way, he drags
That's true, but when I feel the need to relax, I prefer taking a stroll or spending time in the baths. Whatever secret there is about relaxing to loud music, raucous shouting, and alcohol is beyond me. It was stitched into the blanket they found me in near that village. I don't really know if it is my actual name, but I had nothing else to go with, so it stuck. Tattoo? Oh, of course, you mean my mark. I've had that for as long as I can remember, and I don't have the slightest idea as to how I got it. That's what Tyrus said too, but if it has a meaning, it's obscure. I couldn't find anything in the books, and the Magisters couldn't put their fingers on it either. Not without leaving a bad scar, at least according to the apothecary. And even if that weren't the case, I don't know if I'd want it gone. It reminds me of something. No, it isn't. It's just there, that's all. It does. You're the first to tell me that. But thanks, I guess. That's convenient, actually. I think I still owe you an explanation. Yes, but let's talk somewhere else. Come on. So, sorry for all the secrecy. I just didn't want anyone else to listen in. Well, that moment when I neutralized the leader of the bandits in Old Dothelgrad. I'm sure you noticed that I was different then. The bandit leader, when he lured you into that trap and tried to trick me, you must have noticed there was something unusual about me when I dealt with him. Upset. You choose your words carefully, Saira. I appreciate that. I'll make this quick. There is something about me that you don't know, that No one knows, actually. Do you remember what I told you in the curarium about the destroyed village? Well, I wasn't entirely honest with you. Not all of it, no, and it's true that I don't know how I ended up there. But I remembered something just before I regained consciousness. Some kind of vague memory. A feeling coupled with an image. It's hard to describe because it didn't last very long, but I saw myself, but I was somehow above the rooftops, as if I flew. Below me, I saw all the chaos, the dead, the fire, the devastated houses, and I somehow felt hot, but from inside, as if my blood was boiling. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? I'm sorry, but I don't know how to describe it better than that. It was something that actually happened, I'm sure of it. But the memory, it was somehow blurred. Like a dream, but a very vivid one. Nothing. I woke up, and from there things happened just as I've already told you. But that's not really what I'm trying to get at. In that memory, when I saw all those dead bodies and all that destruction, I felt satisfaction, pleasure, as if all that suffering, all that pain was the most exhilarating thing I'd ever seen. Well, I didn't know what to make of that memory myself for quite a long time. But then, things happened that made me understand. There is something inside my head, Saira. Some kind of second soul, an entity. Most of the time it sleeps, but there are situations in which it wakes up, mostly when something atrocious happens or has happened. Blood, pain, death. Whenever I'm confronted with these kinds of things, it tries to, I don't know how to put it, tries to take control of me, and then things like Alt Dathulgrad happen. It's never managed to completely take me over, and it hasn't gotten as far as it did in Alt Dathulgrad for a long, long time now. But that memory from the village, I think that is what happens when I let myself go completely. If that name seems fitting to you, then yes. But I think we both know these stories about ghosts taking over the living are just stories to scare the common folk. If it helps you, think of it as some kind of temptation. One that's just waiting for the moment when I am too weak to contain it. Yes, it is immense, Saira. I can feel it every time it is trying to take me over. I don't even want to think about what would happen if I were to give in completely. I figure. Listen, what happened in Old Dathulgrad, I never should have let it come to that. But that moment when he charged me, the blood on his sword, I just couldn't contain it. And when I gave in, when I hacked him into pieces, I simply felt so thrilled, complete. I I was naive to believe it would never get that far again. Naive and stupid. But do you see now? This is the reason why I train so hard, why I always try to control my emotions no matter what people do or say to me. This creature inside me, it's always on the hunt. And the only way I can keep it at bay is by controlling both my body and spirit 100%. Just one moment of carelessness. That's all it takes. No way that I know of, at least. Who should I ask? The apothecary? There are two ways that would go. Either they would ridicule me, or they would take me seriously and report my condition to the Order. Neither way helps me, and who knows what the Order would do if they found out, especially as strained as the situation is right now. Only Master Tyrus, my foster father. He taught me how to contain it by controlling my thoughts. And he also advised me never to tell anyone about it, which I haven't, until today. I don't know. Probably because I was afraid you'd tell someone else about what happened in Old Dothelgrad and that would raise suspicions. A coward's move, I know, but it was the best solution I could come up with. I'm sorry. I don't know, Sayira. Believe me, I've asked myself that question more than 100 times. And as much as I hate to admit it, yes, there's a chance it did. I'll never find out. I don't know. And truth be told, I'm not sure I want to. Well, what would be the alternative? Transcribe Pyrean books like the Magisters do all day? Or drop out entirely and pour hot water for the upper city's noblewomen? Look, Sayira, as you already pointed out, there is a chance that this thing inside me is responsible for the massacre in the village. And if that's true, I definitely have a lot of repentance to do, don't you think? And even if it isn't, I want to change things, to make the world at least a little bit better. And yes, I do realize that this means a lot of hardship and hard work for me, but I'm not afraid of that. Do you know why? Because that's what's missing in this world. So many people just talk and never act, because that would mean that they'd have to actually endure something for what they believe in. Determination alone hasn't helped anyone yet. Let's talk again in a few years, and we'll see if my good intentions have actually produced results. Well, that's good to know. I'd like some time by myself now, and thanks for listening.
Walk blessed.
What do you want, urchin child? My problem with you? I don't have a problem with you. I have a problem with what you stand for. Tell me, Prophetess, who built this temple? Which you enter and leave as frivolously as a sailor leaving a brothel. What did Malphas say to Dalcidocius after he succeeded in suppressing the Blood Moon riot? How goes the 100th verse of the Holy Path, which the novices have to recite each morning? What is the holiest tenet of the creed to every keeper of the sigil? Why is only the highest commander of the guard allowed to enter the temple? I applaud your cunning. You know nothing, neither of our faith nor of our country, and only because you happen to have strong magic in you, Aranthiel thinks that justifies desecrating our traditions. Do you know how few Enderalians, even those of the Sublime Path, are granted the novitiate? Are you aware how hard these novices have to train and learn in order to just be allowed to enter the trial? We're not some group of tavern regulars which you can just join and leave on a whim. We are the Holy Order. We are what has kept peace in this country for millennia. And only because Tila has doted on this idiocy of cycles and prophecies, he feels it's justified to abolish this country's foundations with a flick of his fingers. You, urchin child, you're the living proof of what has become of this country. Even just your boot prints on this sacred ground are blasphemy to everything we stand for. What I see is a country that now more than ever needs peace, stability, and a strong leading hand. And transforming this order into a bunch of fortune-tellers, wild mages and thimble-riggers will only make the situation worse. Do you even know how many of our people were killed in the war Tila's fool of a son started? And now his former people, Pegast, Sharim, whatever they call themselves, tread on these sacred grounds as if there were nothing more natural in the world. Now leave. Do what you want, but spare me your presence.
Saira? Well, what should I think about them? They're disquieting. Speaking of which, recently there's been word from the League of Apothecari up north. They say that their studies on the Red Madness haven't borne fruit yet, and that it is like no disease they've ever encountered. Honestly, that has rid me of the last of my doubts about the cycle being real, just as the Grandmaster said. Let's just hope we can find out how to stop it. Yes? If it's really necessary, what do you want to know? If that were the case, I probably wouldn't be here right now, would I? No, it hasn't. Usually it's just thoughts, and they're almost always there. It's as if there's always something lurking in the dark corners of my mind, just waiting for me to give in. It's tough, to say the least. I don't know if you can relate to that. Yes, but at what price? It isn't just what happens on the outside when it tries to take me over, Saira. At least not just that. It's what goes on inside. My thoughts, my feelings. Imagine you are walking through a forest, all on your own. Then you hear heavy breathing, sobbing, and as you follow it, you find a wounded hunter. He's been mauled by a bear and is now heavily injured and delirious. That is the part of me that is myself, would want to help this man, to get him to safety. But the moment I see blood, the smell of death, these other thoughts start invading my mind. Yes. And that sight, it would arouse it. I can't find a better word for it. If I were to give in, it would... Forgive me, Saira. I can't talk about this. I am sorry. Yeah, it's just odd to talk about it like this. Honest answer? I don't know, and I don't want to know. As I told you in the Scuola, if I really am the one to blame for that massacre in the village, if this memory is real, then the answer to your question is yes. I would transform into whatever this creature is, but it will never come to that. You have my word.